I wouldn't exactly call it a crowd. Even calling it a small gathering might be inappropriate. Perhaps a more suitable description would be a family reunion.
How can two up-and-coming superstars produce such drastically different audience reactions? Angel Reese's homecoming game drew 6,300 spectators in a 13,000-seat facility, while Caitlin Clark drew 15,000 yelling supporters prepared to spend up to $670 per ticket simply to enter the arena. The numbers speak for themselves, and today we're dissecting what happened when these two rookie superstars faced the same opponent in their preseason debuts. The stark contrast could reveal everything about the WNBA's future. We'll look at arena capacity, ticket prices, and fan interaction to see what these early indicators point to regarding their influence on the league.
This was last night's attendance. 6,373 fans showed up to watch Angel Reese. 6,373 fans showed up last night. Interesting. So everybody is watching for Angel 2. This arena has a capacity of 13,215 fans.
The harsh reality check when Angel returned to the court where she had won a national championship and been hailed like royalty. The picture was quite different. The stands told the entire tale, with a sea of empty seats where applauding spectators should have been.
In case you're wondering, in order to get that place half full, you need 6,607 fans to show up. They did not even halfway fill that place up last night.
In an auditorium with 13,215 seats, just 6,373 supporters came up, and tickets were only selling for $15 for half of them. The emptiness wasn't only in the higher sections. Supporters were dispersed throughout the lower bowl areas, sitting alone or in small groups, appearing to be castaways in a sea of empty seats. You can hardly get a good lunch for that amount.
Watch for yourself as family and friends of Angel Reese welcome the Bayou Barbie back to the Bayou. Pay very, very close attention to the so-called crowd. Roll the clip. This was her homecoming. This was supposed to be a night of celebration.
Image what this truly looked like were broad camera angles that showed whole segments of desolate, lonely fans arranged in rows with no one at their sides. Camera operators had a hard time finding angles that didn't show the poor turnout, since some of them made it appear more like a practice session than a homecoming game. When Angel was in college, the stadium used to tremble with a loud roar, but now it was filled with the sound of squeaking sneakers, and the stillness was nearly deafening.
Nobody showed up to this sucker. Nobody. Let me just blow this. Look at that. I noticed it right off the bat. Look, number one, look at all the purple seats down here in this lower bowl section. And then the entire top bowl, forget about it. Forget about it. There wasn't anybody there. It wasn't even half full.
The same venue was crammed with fans standing shoulder to shoulder during Angel's championship run, creating the electrifying atmosphere that characterizes college basketball. The contrast was starkly apparent. Did those fervent supporters vanish and only care about Angel when she was winning for their school? Or did those empty seats become silent witnesses to her current drawing power?
Thousands of empty seats. In an arena that seats over 13,000, just over 6,000 people welcomed Angel Reese home. Now, I'm no expert in math, but that appears to be less than 50% capacity.
However, the depressing quiet on the court stood in sharp contrast to the excitement on social media in the days leading up to the match. Angel excitedly shared that she was returning to Louisiana and asked fans to come and support her. However, the build-up resulted in a half-empty arena, demonstrating that her millions of Instagram followers obviously didn't translate into full seats.
A lot of Angel Reese fans are not basketball fans, and they are proving it. They proved it last night without a shadow of a doubt. That was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen.
The scenario flatly undermines Angel's earlier assertions. Those empty seats reveal a different story. People watch the WNBA because of me as well as because of one other person.
If I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too. And I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game. And
fans that are well known online and have a large following do not always vote with their money. And in this instance, they were not supporting Angel Reese.
So the narrative about people are watching for Me Too, people are showing up for Me Too, that narrative that's bullshit. Don't let anybody try to blow smoke up your ass.
The scene in Iowa shows where the true star power in women's basketball currently lies, while Angel performed to empty seats in Louisiana. The contrast between the two games was so sharp that it's almost unbelievable that rookies from the same draft class played in both.
If LeBron James played a preseason game in Akron, Ohio, the arena would be packed, standing room only. I remember in the late 90s, Michael Jordan and the Bulls, they did a preseason tour over in France. Every game was sold out. Hell, during his final season in the NBA, they had to move a regular season game against the Hawks into the Georgia Dome. 18,000 seats wasn't enough. They needed 60, 70,000 to meet the demand.
What occurs when a genuine celebrity comes home to an arena filled with empty seats? Consider for a moment that individuals paid more to attend an exhibition game than many fans spend for playoff tickets in other sports. Caitlin Clark's preseason game was teeming with excitement and liveliness, and tickets were selling for as much as $670. This is a true phenomenon.
To meet the demand. If they had 100,000 tickets, they could have sold them. Not Angel Reese, though. No. At one point during the game, the crowd started chanting her name. Pistol Pete! Pistol Pete! But my name is Angel!
It doesn't matter what your name is!
At Carver Hawkeye Arena, the atmosphere was electrifying. The pregame atmosphere was buzzing with anticipation as 15,000 fans packed every seat, creating a sea of excitement with no empty spot anywhere. Hours before tip-off, the sizzle of grills, laughter, and competitive cornhole games filled the parking lot, and the air practically vibrated with energy as fans frantically looked for last-minute tickets online at any price.
This is the line. This is Scott Agnes. He put pictures up. This is the line from outside the arena to get in for this game. People were, and Caitlin Clark pointed this out in an interview with Holly Rowe, people were tailgating out there like it was the NFL to get in to this arena.
We can learn a lot about who is interacting with basketball fans from the difference between the two homecomings. The market has spoken and is yelling because one performer was unable to sell enough $15 tickets to fill half of an auditorium, while another had fans enthusiastically spending hundreds of dollars to enter. When Caitlin Clark was finally introduced, the arena erupted in a deafening roar that you could feel in your chest the moment she touched the ball. One reporter described the noise as simply unbelievable. Outside the arena, the scene resembled a major concert, with fans lining up for hours excitedly discussing their favorite Clark moments and season predictions.
And how about Caitlin Clark coming on the court? Unbelievable response from those fans.
Supporters from other states drove for hours to see her return, with daughters holding handcrafted placards that read, "Be like Caitlin and Iowa's greatest." The bond between Clark and these fans went beyond basketball. It was personal, as seen in the tears of young girls and the proud expressions of parents who wanted their kids to see greatness. These were ardent supporters who treated this preseason game like a championship final. When Clark took the court, magic happened, and everyone stood with their phones recording the momentous occasion.
They sold out arena, 14,998 people. That's all it could hold. They all showed up in Caitlin Clark's college arena. Absolutely full capacity, folks. Full capacity on this thing.
In contrast to Rhee, who keeps an active and occasionally contentious social media presence in an attempt to attract attention, Clark lets her game speak for itself. She concentrates on basketball rather than building a brand, and fans respond with their wallets and presence. After the game, Clark knelt down to sign autographs for young fans, creating moments they will remember forever. Her teammates celebrated with her in what observers called an impeccable atmosphere of support.
The drawing power of Caitlin Clark is real. Let me show you a couple of examples. Let me show you the line outside of the arena 2 hours before tip-off. Watch for yourself.
While one player quietly triumphs on the court with fans swarming the arena, another speaks a lot online but finds it difficult to fill tickets.
I don't understand the hysteria. I don't understand paying $700 to watch a meaningless game. But just because I don't understand it, it doesn't mean it's not real.
However, these rookies' distinctions went beyond ticket sales. How thoroughly Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever destroyed Brazil was revealed by their on-court performances, which also revealed who is prepared for the WNBA limelight. Watching the Fever completely destroy the Brazilian national team 108-44, a 64-point thumping, was nearly humiliating due to the final score's extreme imbalance, which conveyed a message to the whole WNBA about what's to come this season.
This is not normal. It's not normal.
Let's examine what transpired here. The Fever dominated Brazil in every way of the game. Their 108 points demonstrated how effective their offense was, and their defense of just 44 points demonstrated how good they were. This wasn't just a win, though. It was a decisive call that completely changed Clark's performance and demonstrated the kind of influence she is already having on her team.
Joe, Kelsey Mitchell, 17 points. Caitlin Clark, 16 points. And it's been an all-around solid performance.
Now, you may be wondering, but didn't Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky play against the same Brazilian team? Indeed, the Sky defeated Brazil by a mere 24 points, but Clark's team defeated the same opponent by 40 more points than Reese's team did. This historic margin is considered to be one of the most dominant preseason performances in recent WNBA history, underscoring the immediate impact Clark brings to Indiana.
The Sky beat them by 27, the Fever beat them by 64. It was, and again, the Fever played, even their reserves won. They only scored 38 points in the second half and still scored 108 points.
The crowd recognized it too and erupted when the shot went through the net, with 15,000 spectators watching the start of something special. The energy in that building transferred straight to the court, with Clark's teammates playing at a higher level after that moment. Clark's individual stats were impressive, with 16 points and extremely efficient shooting. She hit a three-pointer from the exact same spot where she broke records in college, creating a perfect symbolic bridge between her Iowa legacy and WNBA future.
I want to be fair. It was an unbelievable game to watch on television. It looked great. The crowd was into it. It was fired up. Social media was fired up during the game. I mean, we're getting a glimpse. We got a glimpse today of what this team could look like.
During the game against Brazil, Clark's exceptional court vision allowed her to thread a no-look pass through three defenders to a cutting teammate for an easy layup play that wasn't occurring in Chicago's game. This is what makes Clark so unique. She improves everyone around her throughout the game.
But there was some flow to this game. There was some rhythm to this game. There was good ball movement in this game.
Caitlin Clark turns the Indiana Fever from one of the worst offensive teams to one of the best offensive teams. And their defense is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic compared to last year. They were tough. They were gritty. They got in the way. Brazil were physical and they weren't getting bullied. Caitlin was holding her own physically. A lot of stuff. A lot of positives on the defensive.